One subtle change after 75 is how quickly energy fails to return medically slower. Recovery after 75 is often linked to natural changes in muscle tone, metabolism, and sleep quality. Point 1. Recovery after exertion becomes noticeably slower. Point 2. Energy drop after activity becomes more noticeable. Point 3. After 75, one of the most important physiological changes is the gradual loss of skeletal muscle, mass and strength, known as sarcopenia. This process does not happen overnight, but over years, it reduces the body's ability to repair muscle fibers efficiently after normal daily activity. As a result, even routine movements that once felt effortless can now require significantly more recovery time, because the repair mechanisms inside the muscle tissue are working at a slower and less efficient rate than before. Point 4. Metabolism also undergoes a steady decline with age, meaning the body becomes less efficient at processing nutrients and converting them into usable energy. This affects not only how much energy a person has during the day, but also how quickly that energy is restored after it has been used over time. This can create a noticeable gap between activity and recovery, where fatigue lingers longer, even after adequate rest, hydration, and food intake. Point 5. Sleep architecture changes significantly after 75, particularly in the amount and quality of deep sleep, also known as slow-wave sleep. This stage of sleep is critical for physical restoration, including muscle repair, hormone regulation, and nervous system recovery. When deep sleep is reduced or fragmented, the body loses valuable recovery time each night, which accumulates into slower overall recovery during the daytime, even if total sleep duration appears normal. Point 6. Cardiovascular efficiency also tends to decline gradually with age. The heart may pump blood less forcefully, and blood vessels may become less flexible, which reduces the speed at which oxygen and nutrients are delivered to tissues. Since oxygen delivery is essential for energy production and recovery, any reduction in circulation efficiency directly impacts how quickly the body can restore itself after physical or even mild everyday stress. Point 7. When all of these changes occur together, the result is a cumulative effect that becomes more noticeable in daily life. Activities such as walking short distances, standing in queues, light cleaning, or even simple household tasks can lead to prolonged fatigue. Importantly, the activity itself is not necessarily harmful, but the recovery phase becomes disproportionately longer, making the body feel slower and more easily drained than in earlier years. Point 8. This delayed recovery often presents in a subtle way. A person may feel fine during the activity itself, but experience a delayed drop in energy several hours later. This delayed fatigue response is often overlooked, because it does not always appear immediately, leading many people to underestimate how significantly their recovery system has changed over time. Point 9. Clinically, this pattern is often more important than isolated fatigue episodes. Healthcare professionals pay attention to trends and recovery speed because it reflects the combined performance of multiple organ systems, including muscular, metabolic, cardiovascular, and neurological function. A gradual decline may be expected with aging, but a sudden or steep change can sometimes indicate an underlying condition that requires evaluation. Point 10. It is also important to distinguish between normal, aging, and abnormal decline. Gradual slowing of recovery is expected after 75, but when fatigue begins to interfere with basic independence, such as difficulty recovering from very light activity or needing unusually long rest periods after minimal effort, it may suggest contributing factors such as anemia, thyroid imbalance, chronic inflammation, medication side effects, or cardiovascular strain. Point 11. Doctors often use recovery time as an indirect but valuable marker of overall health because it reflects how well the body systems work together under stress. Unlike single symptoms, recovery patterns show how efficiently the body can respond, adapt, and return to balance after physical demand. This makes it one of the more useful observational indicators in geriatric health assessments. Point 12. Supporting recovery in older adults is rarely about one intervention alone. In most cases, it involves a combination of maintaining adequate protein intake to support muscle maintenance, ensuring sufficient hydration to support circulation, engaging in safe and consistent light physical activity to preserve mobility, and improving sleep quality to maximize nightly restoration. Processes each of these factors contributes to reducing the overall burden on the recovery system. Point 13. Another important aspect is pacing daily activity. After 75, the body often benefits from distributing physical effort throughout the day rather than concentrating it in a single period. This helps prevent excessive fatigue accumulation and allows the body more consistent opportunities to recover between tasks, which can improve overall energy stability and reduce the feeling of sudden exhaustion. Point 14. Monitoring small changes over time is essential. Because recovery decline is often gradual and not immediately noticeable, many older adults adapt to these changes without realizing the progression, which is why family members or caregivers may notice differences first. Tracking patterns such as how long it takes to recover after walking, bathing, or household tasks can provide meaningful insight into overall health trends. Point 15. The key takeaway is that slower recovery after 75 is a natural and expected part of aging physiology, but it is also an important health signal. Understanding this change allows for better awareness earlier, detection of potential issues, and improved daily management of energy. The goal is not to eliminate the change, but to recognize it, adapt to it, and support the body so that independence and quality of life can be maintained for as long as possible. Point 16. Another important factor that contributes to slower recovery after 75 is the gradual decline in the body's inflammatory response regulation. While inflammation is a natural and necessary part of healing, the body's ability to control and resolve inflammation becomes less efficient with age. This means that, after physical activity or minor injury, the inflammatory phase may last longer than it should, which can extend soreness, stiffness, and overall recovery time over time. This delayed resolution can make the body feel persistently slower to reset, even after normal daily exertion. Point 17. Hormonal changes also play a significant role in recovery speed. Levels of key hormones involved in tissue repair, muscle maintenance, and energy regulation, such as growth hormone and certain anabolic hormones, tend to decline with age. These hormones are essential for rebuilding tissues and restoring strength after physical stress. When their levels are lower, the body's repair processes naturally become less efficient, meaning that even small physical demands may require longer recovery periods to fully restore balance. Point 18. Another overlooked aspect is the reduction in physical resilience due to changes in connective tissues, including tendons and ligaments. As these tissues become less elastic and more rigid, over time the body not only moves differently, but also absorbs physical stress less efficiently. This can lead to micro-strain during everyday activities, even when movements are gentle. As a result, recovery is not just about muscle fatigue, but also about the slower repair of supporting structures that stabilize the body during movement.